right, and we're back. Jupiter Joe Thomas is with, I was watching the local news, Joe, and I can't remember what station it was last night, and they said that it looks like Trump's presidential library is going to be in Jupiter.
Oh, is that so?
They have an address for it, and it's the same address as the golf course in Jupiter.
Really?
That was on the local news last night.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Interesting. It's not going to come out like Obama's thing, that $1 billion.
They still haven't finished it.
I know. I've seen the interviews. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
I know. I can't wait. But you were talking to me. You'd mentioned to me 401ks. And, 401ks, so many people, they love their 401ks. Oh, my boss, he's so great. He does all these things. I don't think 401ks are all that. What do you think about them?
Yeah, look, they're a good savings vehicle, but the problem with them is if you leave your job, you don't know where it is. You can't control the risk levels. You can't control the fees. You can't do anything with it. And trying to get your money. Now, look, we transfer a lot of 401ks from 401ks to annuities to an IRA. And let me tell you something, it's getting very challenging out there because these companies want to keep your money there and they want to do everything to dissuade you from moving your money.
Well, what I learned from you, there's a lot of people talk about all these things that they don't tell you what the real deal is.
Right.
And if you think your employer is so generous with your 401k, it's really a side business that they've got. They make money off of you even after they fired you. If you have your 401k, the guy that fired you is making. How does that work?
Yeah, so it's called revenue sharing. And what happens is your employer, your boss, it could be a dentist, could be a doctor, anybody, small little firm, they're getting a piece of the action. So they split the fees generally 50-50, 60-40 with the management company who's managing your money. So let's say it's Fidelity, Empower, whoever it is, they're sending your boss, your employer, part of your fees that is charged out of your account.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that great?
But it's worse, they don't disclose it. You have to call and say how much is it, and then they go all mad that you're asking how much your fees are.
So this is like you're being it's like you're being robbed. One of the biggest problems employers have is employee theft. Right. But this is an instance where the employer, in my opinion, is a thief stealing from their employees and they don't even know it.
At least let your employees know that they're paying a fee and how much it is and that they're sharing in the revenue. This is kept quiet. By the way, they've been doing this for 30, 40 years. This just came out in the last probably 5 to 7 years. Yeah.
So how do the fees work that they get? Are they transactional or how the fees that they get, how does that work?
So this is what's really nasty. They the smaller your account, the bigger the fee.
Oh, that's great.
So if you have under 100,000, they're going to be charging you about 2% a year. If you have over $1 million or $500,000, then they're going to charge you like 1.25%.
Oh, wait a minute. So they're charging a fee regardless if there's any transactions or anything?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, it's an annual fee.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but the problem is you don't see it. They don't show it to you. So this is why when I tell people to educate themselves about, products and what they have, 401ks, IRAs, whatever it is, it's important. Get a copy of my book. I mean, that's what my whole gig is to educate and inform people about what they're doing with their money. If I do that, I'm doing my job.
When before we first met, actually, they gave me a copy of your book and I looked at it over the weekend and it's a quick short read. You give them out free. We haven't talked about your book in a while.
Right.
And a lot of the things that I talk to you about are things that I read in your book that I remember from your book. Your book, it's a quick read and it's written in layman's language where you can understand it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us about your book and then how people can get it.
So I wrote the book called Retirement Know-It-All, not because I'm a know-it-all with retirement, but everybody today with the advent of Google and their son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws and friends and relatives know more about retirement than the experts in many respects. And it's tongue in cheek. And that's how I wrote the book. Here's the deal. You get a copy for free. You go to my website, jupiterjoe.com. My daughters will send you out a free copy. You want a PDF? We'll send you a PDF.
Yeah, no matter where you're located.
Doesn't matter.
And I'll tell you, listen, I tell you this all the time. I don't like risks, okay? I like things that are safe. I don't have to worry about. There's 3 things I like. I like gold, I like annuities, and I like real estate.
There you go.
Because and I know, a lot of you guys, hey, listen, I like the market. I like this. I like that. And I like things that are solid. And I don't know what the official definition is of an annuity, but the way I look at it it's because I've talked to you about this a couple of times. You know, a lot of people own condos that are like a second property that they rent out, or what's going on with condos in Florida is insane. You want to get out. To me, an annuity is like having a rental property.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Without the tenant,
yeah,
and without all the the property taxes and the HOA, it's the same kind of thing, because the reason you have a second property you're renting out is to get that revenue stream.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I mean, the thing is, look, you want to diversify your money, just like you said, gold. You know, it's a great way to go. Now, look, I think everybody should have a percentage in a little bit of everything. You need your money in some things that can lose money and some things that cannot. That means you can have your money in your 401k, but realize the risk levels. That's the whole key.
Now back to the 401ks. And this is very, very, very important, because I know sometimes people have multiple 401ks with multiple employers. You may not be able to track down your 401k, or maybe you don't want to call that human resources person that fired you or downsized you or something. I get it. But you can actually help people track down their 401k, get the money, and get it transferred.
So we do it for them. It's hard to break up sometimes with your advisor, and we can do it. If you left your job, our motto is, if you left your job, your money shouldn't be there. Why? Control and fees. You can control your risk level once you move your money, and you have access to it, Brian. If there's an emergency, how are you going to if you can't get your money from your 401k, how's your family going to get if something happens to you? Think about that.
That's right. And another thing, and then one last thing I want to mention. I know a lot of seniors are always looking. Believe me, I know, are looking for side gigs. An annuity is a side gig, right? Because you got that revenue stream.
Mailbox money. It's guaranteed, just like Social Security.
Yeah, that's right. Well, listen, give Jupiter Joe a call. Again, you can get his book for free, The Retirement Know-It-All, or set up that free consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll talk soon.